The lives of nuns are always sacred and sacrificial, but this movie will tell you how much sacrifices they are doing under the wraps. They not just live like the sacred holy ladies, but they also throw out their wombs for the entire life. This movie demands much greater level sacrifices from the young nuns. The exploration will give you chills. A young nun named Sister Mary is busy praying in her room and waits for Mother Superior to fall asleep so she can get the keys. She is extremely scared and plans to quickly leave the church, but a group of nuns begin to chase her. They are masked entities with covered faces in the bloody red drapes. When her stumbled hands can't open the gate, she squeezes between the bars to get out. One of them grabs her leg and breaks it, which is extremely painful. She can't move an inch now and faints. She finds herself buried alive in a coffin and tries to struggle with opening the locked lid. She can't make it out. The scene changed to Lady Cecilia, who is called by the officer. He greets her well and wishes her the best as she is about to become a nun. She packs her bags, crosses the Atlantic, and rings the doorbell of a creepy old convent in the middle of nowhere. She gets to a secret convent where dying women are cared for in their last days. She is made to feel welcome, but jealousy is everywhere, especially when a new nun is getting the special treatment. Hence, another sister, Isabel, shows her around, but Shirley is a bit off to see her and warns her to leave right away. But Cecilia has already decided what she wants to do. Cecilia meets Gwen, another sister, in the bathroom. After lighting up, Gwen restricts her to enter in and suggests that they keep the mysterious door locked. Before she says her vows, she gets ready for a very important event. She meets Father Teskey along the way. He was the one who wanted her to join the sacred culture of nuns. He takes her through the vows and officially makes her a nun during the service. Cecilia tells Father Teskey how much she loves life at the convent and how they live the holy lives here. Cecilia also mentions her past. She says she almost drowned when she was 12 and fell through the ice on a lake. People thought she was dead for 7 minutes, but she was saved miraculously. That's why Cecilia said yes right away when Father Teskey asked her to join the Italian convent. She is thankful that God gave her another chance to live. Cecilia finds someone crying behind the walls of the bathroom. She follows the sound to a nun who is praying on the ground. Even though Cecilia is calm, the nun's blank face scares her when she turns around. It means that there are a lot of psychic nuns too to take care of them. Finally, the Reverend Mother shows up and walks Cecilia to the other side. There, she shows Cecilia an old nail that is in a glass case and says it came from Jesus' cross. The Reverend Mother holds out her hand when she forgives Cecilia for her sins. Cecilia can't keep the hold of this story and gets sick. She suddenly falls to the ground. She tries to yell about her sins and ask for forgiveness, but he doesn't say anything. She keeps calling for help, but all of a sudden, she feels a lot of arms around her from behind, and people in mysterious drapes are holding her tight in front of her. One of them stabs her in the chest after touching her face with their hands. Luckily, it was all a dream, and she wakes up from her bad dream. Someone is still walking towards her, which is even scarier because now she's in her senses. She turns on the lampshade to get a better look, but there is no one by the door. At breakfast, the Reverend Mother greets everyone and welcomes Cecilia properly to introduce her with other young nuns. They are asked to keep good care of old nuns. Also, Cecilia is learning to adjust in the system. That night, right before Cecilia goes to sleep, out of the blue, an older nun cuts her hair. The younger nun leads Cecilia back to the clinic where the sick nuns are being cared for because she is lost and doesn't want to cause a scene. Cecilia can't see the face of the crazy nun, but notices a cross-shaped scar on the nun's feet right before she leaves. The next day, while taking a bath, Gwen, Cecilia, and the other young nuns tell each other their stories. Gwen used to live with her mean ex-boyfriend. She knew she had to leave him after she finally got back at him. She joined the nuns even though her faith wasn't as strong as theirs because they made her feel safe and welcome. Cecilia listens to Gwen's story in silence until she feels sick. She looks at it for a while before a bird lands in front of her and stabs to the window. This is like a lump of scariness threw at her, but she gets back instantly. They ask Cecilia to come to the cardinal's office to be questioned. The cardinal asks her if she broke the promises she made before she became a nun. Cecilia says it's not true out of fear. For some reason, Father Teskey wants to know if she has ever slept with a guy, even though she is single and has never been with anyone. Cecilia does not agree. When the doctor checks her out, They are shocked to learn that she is pregnant. It makes the Cardinal and Father Teskey very happy that they think Cecilia will become the next Virgin Mary. She is going to be a mother without doing the forbidden act. It is like a miracle to them as she has been chosen for the purpose. A celebration is held to remember the amazing things God did for them. Gwen and Isabel, on the other hand, don't look happy. There are some strange things going on for Cecilia as she gets into her second trimester. It dawns on her that she has lost a tooth while she is throwing up. Cecilia is taking a break in the shower when she is suddenly pushed under the water. She is being tried to drown by Isabel, but a senior nun and two younger sisters help her. Angry that it should have been her, Isabel yells as she is pulled away. They're glad to hear that the baby is healthy after being checked out. She tells Father Teskey what Isabel said and asks him to explain it. He curses Isabel for doing the bad things to her. For some reason, they don't let Cecilia leave when she asks to go to a different doctor. When Isabel got hurt, Cecilia started to doubt the other nuns and be more wary of them. As she goes down the hall, she sees two nuns are on the top of the building. Suddenly, someone jumps off the roof. Cecilia is shocked to find out that it is Isabel when she quickly checks. While they are at the funeral, Gwen tells Cecilia not to trust anyone. Father Teskey walks in and asks what's wrong when he finds Gwen threatening Cecilia. Nothing is being said, and no one knows why Isabel died or how Cecilia got pregnant. This makes Gwen mad. She keeps saying bad things about the church and its leaders until Father Teskey and Deacon Enzo take her away. Cecilia is curious to know the strange events and sneaks into the Cardinal's office late at night with a knife and opens the cabinet. In a file, she finds news stories about the crash she almost died in. When she hears a scream, she turns around to see what made it. She finds a room where she sees a nun who doesn't have a face. As a punishment, Gwen's tongue was cut off with a large clipper. While Cecilia is slowly moving away from the door, a sick nun puts her hand over her mouth to keep her from screaming. This scares the hell out of Cecilia. The nun who is sick gives her a cross with her hair on it. The nun says in a scary voice that no one can ever leave the convent when Cecilia asks her to help her get away. But Cecilia knows to play the tricks with the bigger tricksters. Anyone, even Father Teskey, wakes up the next morning when Cecilia screams. He runs to her room right away. There is a lot of blood on her, so Cecilia asks Father Teskey to take her to the hospital. A nurse finds the blood of a dead chicken in a bag under Cecilia's bed while she is praying in her room. The blood smells strange. It is realized that it is from a chicken. On the way to the hospital, Father Teskey gets a call that says Cecilia faked the miscarriage to get away. Father Teskey stops Cecilia when she tries to run away. To punish her for trying to escape, a senior nun gives her a rough bath and scolds her. When Cecilia speaks up, the bigger nun slaps the sacred lady. He then puts her in a wheelchair and holds her there while he gets the nail out of the box and shows it to her. He says that before he became a priest, he worked as a doctor and used DNA from the nail to make a new Jesus. After 20 years of hard work, they were finally able to make a second Virgin Mary who would give birth to the new Jesus. Father Teskey then takes Cecilia to the basement and shows her where the eggs are kept in jars. While another man holds Cecilia's leg, Father Teskey burns her feet in the shape of a cross, hence tortures her for the mistake of knowing their evil truths. Last but not least, Cecilia is locked in a room and can't get out. While she pulls a nail out of her finger, Cecilia talks for help. She is 3/4 of the way through her pregnancy and is crying. The doctor checks on the baby again and then leaves her with the Reverend Mother. After that, Cecilia kills the Reverend Mother with the cross while she is watching the baby through the monitor. Her water breaks as Cecilia leaves her room. She tries not to scream because it hurts. She sneaks up behind the Cardinal and puts rosary around his neck as she goes to kill him. He finds her and tries to catch her, but she gets scared and runs away. After that, Cecilia goes right to the basement, lights the lighter, and pours ethanol all over Father Teskey's lab. Cecilia has stomach pain again when Father Teskey walks in. When Cecilia tries to stop Father Teskey from setting fire to his lab, he hits her on the head with a flask. Still, she manages to run away, locking Father Teskey inside the lab. She tries to run away, but he grabs her hair and holds her back. Cecilia can only light her lighter and drop it, which makes Father Teskey and the lab catch fire. She gets through the door without getting hurt. It is in the tunnels below the convent that Cecilia finds herself when she runs downstairs. She is running fast to get away, but she stops when she hears her name being called. As she turns on the lights and looks around the room, she is scared to see Gwen's badly cut body. Finally, she sees light coming through a hole big enough for her to crawl through. This makes her want to run away even more. Father Teskey follows her and cuts Cecilia's belly to get the baby. While she is being held, he starts to sing rites. She grabs the nail from the cross and stabs Father Teskey in the neck with it. Even though she is in a lot of pain, she gets up and out of the hole, into the open air. There is death for Father Teskey. She screams and falls to her knees as she gives birth on her own. Cecilia is scared when she sees her baby. Everyone knows Cecilia's baby has turned into a monster because it makes terrible gurgling sounds, even though no one can see it. The baby seems to be a cursed one. She screams horrified as she cuts the umbilical cord with her teeth. Then she picks up a rock. After that, she kills her own baby with the rock. And that's the end of the story. If you like this movie, then don't forget to subscribe the channel.